serve me and stop worshiping money? I said, yes, Lord. That when you get to that level and humanity refuses to worship you, that is, you've provided directly for their needs, then anything that you want to do to such a person that you have formally provided for in real sense, then if you want to do anything, you are free to do it. Then he said, go and study the technology behind Bitcoin, but forget about Bitcoin. Now, for those that understand the history of Bitcoin, you
Okay.
understand that between
I'll have to come in there. Precisely, you said that you heard that we should study about Bitcoin, but forget about Bitcoin.
Yeah. Not about Bitcoin, about the technology
of Bitcoin.
I used to hear about Bitcoin, but I've not heard about blockchain, talk less of distributed ledger technology. You understand me? So, 3 years of research, Google, YouTube, a lot of research. And I was like, wow, this is interesting. Now, putting everything together along the line, I was even still getting confused that, okay, how does this pan out? I discussed, or we agreed on, that you want to provide for the needs of humanity. Now, along the line, between that January, that was one of the most interesting period for Bitcoin. So in that January, I was like, Lord God, indirectly, you gave me a hint, like, and that period was when Bitcoin almost hit 20,000 per Bitcoin, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I said, you gave me an hint that if I had invested, I would have made a lot of money. Then he said that what I have given to you is far bigger than Bitcoin itself. That the same way John is to Jesus Christ, that is the way Bitcoin is going to be to what we have presently.
Okay. Let me get in. You said the same way Paul is to Jesus Christ.
John.
Oh, John. Okay,
John,
that means
John the
John.
Baptist.
Yeah, John came to make the way for Jesus, right? He came to prepare the way, rather, for Jesus.
Thank you.
So that means
Thank you.
Bitcoin came to prepare the way for ink coin. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. And I know many of what I'm saying might not go well with some people, but I have been given the podium and I will say how it is. So Bitcoin has some errors. And for me, Bitcoin is a hybrid of fiat currency. It's like a digital version and hybrid. It has still not corrected the errors of paper money. Number one error of paper money or fiat currency is that we have made it a god. The godship of paper money is too much. Ordinary paper that a set of people took special printer to print with special ink on paper has now become the god of man. It is the highest level of embarrassment or insult on the human race. We all worship money.
So how will Pincoin
now
come to the rescue, and how will Pincoin, let me use the word, replace Bitcoin as the number one project? Because
let me speak, bro. You had the question now, please.
Oh, okay, all right.
It's okay.
Hello, please. Sam, you are the host.
Okay, sorry about that. I've muted a lot of people. So because of time, I think I would just like us to just just hit the nail, right?
Please
So
allow him speak.
Okay.
I'm going to give you some more minutes, right? So you can just
Yes,
address.
the head of
Yeah,
Bitcoin. We are listening to it.
yeah, yeah. Please,
Okay.
if you're coming in,
So
just mute your mic, please.
So I'll try to be brief because there is a lot to be said about InksNation. Now, the ideology of InksNation is what is behind me. This one says, to the Hausa, I become
I become an
Hausa.
Hausa.
To,
To
to the
Igbo, I become
Igbo,
an Igbo.
I become Igbo. To
To
the
Yoruba,
Yoruba,
I
I'm a
become a
Yoruba.
Yoruba.
I, I am an Ink.
I'm an Ink.
Now, I will use this medium to also communicate to the median generations. The median generation are those that are born between 1975 and 2005. We have lots of work to do. We have to correct all the errors of our fathers from Adam down to our time. Elon Musk has said that artificial intelligence will be humanity's last innovation because it will annihilate humanity. Now, it's either will become the median generation by taking the bull by the horn, fight our fights, correct all the errors, and avoid being the last generation on earth. Because coronavirus is even minor, there are lots of issues in front of us that are coming out of the
So,
Federal Reserve
um,
system, the fractional reserve banking system, and the fiat currency system. The combination of what I call the combined together. So Bitcoin is coming to change the narrative, and it's changing it by, in history, we've tried to back money by so many things, gold and the like, silver, but the same people that are backing this paper money or this currency with all, to understand that humanity is actually the biggest asset on earth.
okay,
Everything needs to be backed by human assets.
Hello?
And
okay,
that is one thing that makes Bitcoin unique.
okay,
Bitcoin is backed cryptographically by human assets.
okay. If I get you
Yeah,
right,
Sammy, you want to?
yeah, if I get you right, Pincoin is backed by human assets.
Yeah,
Okay, sorry, just give me a minute. Some members of the CBAN,
okay.
some members of the CBAN community are actually waiting in the waiting room. So I'm going to admit them right now. They just messaged me privately. So just give me a minute while I admit them and mute. Just a minute. Right, so they've been admitted. Of course, the president of CBAN has joined the call. President of CBAN himself, Mr. Paul, when he joins the when he comes in, because he's still admitting, his name is going to be showing as uh, Paul Crypto. So you were at the point of telling us what is backing Bitcoin, because every asset is backed by something, like you say, right? And right now we are very close to answering the questions that we have from the entire crypto and blockchain community. We are very close to answering those questions right now, because you are now talking about the Bitcoin itself. So briefly tell us uh, how you arrived at the market capitalization of Pincoin, right? What gave the value of Pincoin about $1,500? How? Okay, no. Let's take one by one. How did you come about the market capitalization of Pincoin? So,
Permit me to share my screen, please.
yeah, please. Hold on.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I can't still share my screen.
Yeah, sure, now.
Still the same, not going. Okay. Now, this is pink coin, democracy of money, money of the people, money backed by the people, and money for the people. Now, pink coin is the world's first reserve cryptocurrency. It is not a fork of Bitcoin, neither is it a fork of Ethereum. It is not a token. It is a stand-alone blockchain. And I will say it here that Ethereum has made a lot of developers lazy. Blockchain is a new technology.
So when you say it's a
Distributed ledger,
standalone blockchain, is the blockchain in development or is it already live?
it has a mainnet. Okay,
It
I
has a
guess
what?
that answers your question.
It has a what? Sorry.
It has a mainnet.
A mainnet. Okay, mainnet. Okay, mainnet. Okay. That means the blockchain is live. All right. Okay, let's go on.
Yeah. So it is not a token. It's not built on Ethereum. Neither is it built on Bitcoin or fork of Bitcoin. It is a coin on its own, not a token. So it is standing alone. Now, Bitcoin, blockchain, you see, one thing that gives me concern in the crypto space is that we have a lot of people that are Bitcoin traders and they call themselves blockchain experts. When you trade Bitcoin, you are not an expert in blockchain. You might have name, you might be famous in the space, but that is far from blockchain, talk less of distributed ledger technology. Now, blockchain, distributed ledger technologies, they are neutral technologies. And the reason why neutrality comes in is that it gives room for one, experimentation. Two, it gives room for new concepts, new ideas.
So
Now,
how?
if you build your blockchain, your coin, let me learn, please. If you
Okay. All
build
right.
your coin on on Ethereum, you cannot be bigger than your master. No matter how good your token is, you can't be bigger than your master Ethereum. So whatever happens to Ethereum will affect you. Now, Bitcoin coin, as I said, stands alone. It is backed by human assets in a cryptographic way. Now here, let me start from here. We have what we call primary collective mass agreement. It is primary because it is the most important thing that affects or determines a lot of things on the blockchain. Secondary, tertiary, and quaternary collective mass agreement.
Okay.
Collective mass agreement here
I'm going to
is the
come in now.
same as
I'm going to come in now. I'm going to come in now. Please, what we wanted to know is we've gotten the whole summary of how it has its own blockchain, and that is fantastic. There are fewer people in Nigeria that are thinking in this line, yeah. But how did you come about the value of $1,000 and the market capitalization?
that is where I was going before you came in.
Okay.
You have to understand the mathematical arrangement if you really want to understand how price is determined.
Okay. All right.
Now, primary collective mass agreement is the same. This collective mass agreement is similar to what we call consensus.
Okay.
But this is more like a simplified term. Now, the word living nodes, if you read what we have here, it says blockchain for human asset development. Now, living nodes here represents number of members. On our blockchain, we somewhat convert human assets into, on the blockchain, it is represented as a living node. Oh, please mute some people.
All right. Okay.
So living nodes are the numbers of members. Now, like I said, this is blockchain backed by human assets. For
Okay, if
every
I get you
living
right,
node,
that means the nodes are the human assets. So that means, in summary, human beings that this blockchain is backed by are the nodes. If I get you right.
is that we have two types of nodes. We have the living nodes and the inks node.
Okay.
The inks node is similar to master node. You understand me? So that one is compute as in computers. But this or servers, this has to do with representing every human being on the blockchain as a node, a living node. Now,
Okay. Okay.
this is not the capitalist. This is not capitalist kind of ideology. We call it increstation, the one united global family ideology. Now, everybody is represented with a wallet address. This is our Explorer. This is the Explorer, Inks Ledger Explorer, where everybody.
Okay. So the same way Bitcoin has Bitcoin blockchain explorer, Ethereum has an explorer.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
So this is distributed reserve cashless banking model. Now you still see the living node here, 272,000. What that means is we have 272,000 members. So now this is our, these are members that are joining. As they are joining the blockchain, price is being affected. So it says a new living node just joined from Nigeria. It is from Germany. It will show there with the wallet address that represents that. So this is the wallet address that represents that particular person on the blockchain as a living node. Now back to this. This is the primary CME. What we cryptographically, it's a private blockchain. We're not meant to reveal some things though, as a private blockchain with some permission. Now, the primary CMA is the like the magic figure here. For every 100, 180 there represents the 180 sovereign currencies in the world. And the sovereign currencies are also represented as 180 countries, meaning that every country, all countries that have the same that use the same currency, like US dollar, like about 10 countries uses the same currency. They are seen as one. Now, 180 sovereign currencies equals to 180 countries. 180 countries equals to 180 living node, human assets needed to complete a consensus. So what that extensively means is that for every 180 living nodes or human assets, one consensus is reached on the blockchain. And that one consensus or one CMA is equals to $1. So for every 180 humans that joins, price increases by $1.
Hold on. This is
And
where
this is
I come in. I'm sorry to cut. This is where
okay.
I come in. So you said for
Okay.
every 180 that come in, the price increased by
Yeah.
$1. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this is the bone of contention right here. Now,
Yeah.
I understand you've gone to you have several certifications. That means you must have amassed some good amount of knowledge of cryptocurrency and blockchain, and you should know
Okay.
how the price of Bitcoin was gotten. Now, the price of Bitcoin was gotten by the amount of money. This is the simplest way I can put it. The amount of money that has been invested into Bitcoin divided by the current circulating supply of Bitcoin. So the amount of real money that has been invested into Bitcoin. So since you're using your method is dividing nodes, which are not real money, nodes by I don't know how you do the division, but if living nodes, which are human beings, equals
can
to.
I come in?
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm just trying to arrive at.
Can I come in?
Okay, yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, let me let you understand something here.
Right.
You said Bitcoin is divided by the total number of cash, money in the blockchain, in the system. That is an asset called money, right?
No. What I said is the price of Bitcoin is gotten by real money invested into Bitcoin. I'm just putting it that way.
The same thing.
Divided by the total supply. How in the world did you get 180
we are
people
saying the same thing.
to equal $1?
Yes.
I don't think it's the
we
same
are saying
thing.
the same thing.
Okay.
You are talking about an asset being divided by supply, right? Which is the total money in the system.
Divided by supply.
I'm also talking about, and I'm also talking about an asset divided cryptographically. You see, there's one thing you must understand. We must stop devaluing human beings. We must stop valuing money more than human beings. The asset you're talking about being divided by supply is paper money. In your statement, unconsciously, you're telling us that.
Yeah, of course.
Human,
it's paper
no,
money.
wait. Hear me. Paper money is an asset. Let's put it that way. Being divided by supply.
So
Now,
in
if
this case, the
Satoshi
assets are the human beings.
Wait, hear me. If Satoshi can arrive at such that, okay, this is you divide it by this, which is almost the same system with fiat currency price determination. Now, we are saying that, the most important asset on earth should not be that if you are to divide anything by anything, it should not be the money itself. It should be the human assets themselves, the human beings themselves, in a cryptographic way that makes them become, the way you take care of a living node, of a master node, meaning the master node most likely must not go off.
Okay.
It must not be, it must not have downtime. Then human beings must not have downtime.
Okay, I have another question.
Yeah. Okay.
This one might be a little bit it's not technical. Now, the entire crypto space, right? According to you, they give value to what was created by man than what was created by God, right? They give more value to what was created by man, which is the paper money, and human beings have less money. While Ink's blockchain gives value to human beings rather than paper money. I hope I got you right.
Thank you.
Now, here's the question. Someone asked in one of the blockchain community. If InksNation is going to be tradable globally, if InksNation is going to be tradable globally, knowing that 100% of all global digital asset trading platform uses the method of total amount of money invested divided by
the capitalist method.
So how are you going to get how are you going to get your coin traded or tradable with other members of the global society? Does that mean you will have your own exchange that derives its value from total living nodes divided by maybe your coin, because if someone to short, you must have heard of maybe exchange like OKX, Binance, BitMEX, and the rest. If someone should sell a huge amount of Bitcoin on Binance, you know what will happen? The price of Bitcoin will drop. Why? Because the money in Bitcoin has reduced. Someone has sold off. So some value has been extracted. So the price will fall. So if the value, hold on. If the value extracted, if I sell off a huge amount of Bitcoin, and the supply of Bitcoin still remains fixed, that means the price comes down. That is how trading works. That is how trading works in general exchange, in coin market cap and the rest. So how are you going to fit into this world? Are you going to bring out your own exchange that derives its value from human beings alone? So because if you do that, you're going to be in conflict with the whole world. So will you have your own exchange that has its own tradable constitution that has nothing to do with the normal conventional market capitalization system?
Yeah, I must repeat myself. I said blockchain is a neutral technology. We are meant to have new models, different models, experimentations. Now, you mentioned something about Bitcoin, meaning that a whale can influence the price of Bitcoin to his own favor of self. But on pink coin, if you like have $1 billion, you cannot influence price. You are still one living node. That is one outstanding difference between our coin and every other coin out there. You are still one living node. Then secondly, nobody can say, I have 10 pink coins. Nobody can, because it is a reserve coin. It is a reserve coin. It does not, you cannot say I have 10 pink coins. Rather, let me quickly run through. No. Let me show you a simple a balance in the dashboard.
Okay, why you show this in? I have just one question now.
Please, can we talk?
The question is, will you list this cryptocurrency, right? Will you list this cryptocurrency on other exchanges, or do you have your own exchange?
Yeah, we are working on the DREX. We call it DREX. DREX
More like a
standing for distributed reserve or decentralized reserve exchange.
Okay,
now, for
that
example,
means
this is someone's dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah, this is someone's dashboard. This is the living node reserve. This is the pink card balance. This is non-living node reserve. This person is a gold member. A living node reserve serves as insurance for you. Then this is where I'm going. The pink coin balance itself, 222 million, does not change. It remains there. It is your balance. But it is the value in pink coin that changes. That is another difference between blockchain, Bitcoin, and ours. Now in Bitcoin, if you have 22 million, the price of Bitcoin goes down, it will reduce the particular figure there. But here, it is more like the reverse. Your balance in pink coin. So when somebody joins,
okay, I'm going to cut you in there because it's already 11 o'clock, and by 11 o'clock we should start taking questions. So thank you very much, because so far so good. You've told us how the price of how the market capitalization is gotten. It's not gotten by the conventional way we know, which is market capitalization divided by circulating supply. You have, or InksNation has its own methodology for deriving price, and that is well respected. right? So now the question is, will you list on an external exchange that is not owned by InksNation? Will you ever attempt to list on an external exchange, maybe like Binance, OKX, BTSE, any of these exchange? All right, so while he's not available, please, if you have some questions, just do well to type the questions down, because we have less than 30 minutes to go. Okay, someone asked a question here. You still don't, oh, no. What's, I don't think the founder of InksNation is still. All right, moving on. So far, so good. The founder of InksNation said the following: that InksNation is not following the normal way we understand cryptocurrency and blockchain. They have their own reserve currency. They have their own way of deriving their own price, right? But as a cryptocurrency end users that I am, I don't like calling myself expert, that understands what has happened in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, and other cryptocurrencies. I know, and we know, that the price of a coin is gotten by market capitalization divided by supply supply. Now, anyone can derive their own methodology or ways of deriving price of their coin. But if InCoin is going to gain global adoption, then its assets will have to be priced the normal way it is priced in other exchanges. That is market capitalization divided by circulating supply. So since the founder, I think he's having some network issues, some technical issues, I'm going to take some questions here. And if there's any admin from InksNation that is available to answer the question, please do well to answer, because we have less than 30 minutes to go. And then at the end, I'm going to give my what I think my verdict is. And then the question here from Mr. Kelvin, not Mr. Kelvin, Mr. Ubong Iframe. He says, what's the technology behind Bitcoin? Bitcoin uses proof of work. Ethereum uses proof of work also, moving to proof of stake. What does InCoin use? All right, so since he's not here to speak, we have some notable and well-respected members of the Nigerian blockchain community. We have the person of Mr. Franklin. He's going to say one or two things. So I'm going to give the floor right now to Mr. Right now, I'll be missing. I don't know if Mr. Paul is still on the call, but I'm going to give the floor right now to Mr. Franklin to say something, because while giving the floor to Mr. Franklin, if he's still here, it's because he runs an exchange, he has an exchange, right? He understands what it means for, at least, the very fact that he has an exchange is a proof that he understands how the price of assets are gotten, right? So I'll give the floor to Mr. Franklin to say something about about this project. Thank you.
Much, Mr. Sam, and thank you everybody for being part of this meeting. Now, I've listened from the beginning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
hey.
yes. Now
Hey,
you're
go
clear.
on, go on.
Hey.
Yes,
Right.
we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Continue.
Loud and clear.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, please mute
Yeah,
everybody so I can
we
continue.
are hearing you.
The first time I heard about the whole InksNation concept, I went online. I saw it on Twitter, and I went online. I went through the website and everything. The first impression I had is that it's not a serious project. To say that because I really didn't see professionalism, and I waved it off. And day before yesterday, I started seeing it pop up again. I think it was more like a notification to EFCC and the government to allow you run the project and all that. But it was funny at first, but seeing it pop up again day before yesterday, I had to go back again and critically examine the whole website. I tried to understand the whole living node concept, and thank God the CEO was here to break it down and making sense to an extent. But the thing about blockchain and cryptocurrency and the future of money and wealth and finance is not just about experimentation, because if we leave it to can you mute everybody, Sam, please? Experimentation, we can say yes, it's open for everybody. Nobody should stop anybody from experimenting, right? But where it brings our concern into the whole situation is one, it has to do with an emerging technology that, of course, has a very global stance. And in Nigeria, people are working towards, doing something meaningful. I believe InksNation want to do something meaningful based on their own concept. But if anything goes wrong, it affects everybody, not just the InksNation. That's the first thing.
Okay, Mr. Franklin, I see there. We can hear you.
Distracted. All right. So thank you. Just meet everybody. Now, the second thing is that it involves
Okay, I think he's having a bit of network issue, I guess. Or am I the only one that can hear you?
their future because of some promises that were not realistic. It becomes an issue. So these are the three concerns I have about this. And the last thing I'm going to say is to ask a question. According to the website, and I see that the team behind InksNation has over 10 years of experience. Now, when the CEO was talking, he said he had a vision 3 years ago to he had a vision 3 years ago. He said November 2017 to learn about blockchain, and he got his certificate. Was it 3 years ago? All right, or 2 years ago? I can't remember. But the website is saying that you people have up to 10 years of blockchain experience. Two things. First, the blockchain and cryptocurrency was introduced first, or was, people started doing anything Bitcoin 2009, 2010. So 10 years ago, I don't know. Maybe you can explain how you people have that vision, or like I have that experience for 10 years. All right. And then you started learning about cryptocurrency and cryptography last year or last 2 years. And finally, who are the team behind it? Is it just the CEO that is in charge? What about the team of developers? The website said that the main person in charge is God, good, based on the faith, and second person is the CEO. Where are the rest of the team members, and how do we hold them accountable? Just in case I want to put my money in InksNation. Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Franklin. Just in case you don't know who that is Mr. Franklin, and he's the founder and CEO of BitFXC Exchange. BitFXC is an exchange. Exchange is where you trade digital assets. So he has an understanding on how the value of cryptocurrencies are gotten. Right, so I think we have the founder of CEO back in the call, so I'm going to let him answer that question in less than a minute because we have some other questions to go in less than 30 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. Like Sam, they, funny enough, one of the developers, CTO is your friend, kind of, Sam Bitcoin, which we've been for years now. As regards 10 years this thing, my apologies. My apologies. You see that homepage thing, we've not really done a lot of things there because we are too focused on the back end. That actually came with the templates that was used. So I guess it was an oversight. We did not really take note of that. Even that part was just added recently. And there are so many other things that needs to be added as in that front page. So my apologies for that. I think that's that. Then the issue of people's money. First of all, as it is presently, we have Bitcoin agents who are already making good money from InksNation with this. Now, this is, we call it Africa's first blockchain QR code debit card. And very soon, Bitcoin ATM is already being produced in China. And by the grace of God, before the end of July, we would have the launching of the first either one or two sets of them, because it's coming with the SDK that we ourselves have to build to our own taste before sending back for mass production. Now, with this card, the QR code here carries the wallet address of each individual. And as it is now, like we said, investing in human assets. Everybody as a living node, you can also bring in new living nodes. We call it humanitarian service. So this card can actually do everything that MasterCard, Visa card. The only thing that finally needed is maybe the government, partnering with the government to integrate this with their APIs to work with the normal bank.
Now, this is where I come in now. If the government are going to integrate this to work with the normal system, how is it going to work when you're not using the normal exchange system?
Normal exchange. What do you mean by normal exchange?
Let me explain.
Listen,
Let me explain.
Wait. Let me answer you. Let me answer you.
Right.
I kept repeating a statement. I said blockchain is a neutral technology. We are not even meant to be building what is known already on the blockchain. We are meant to be bringing new innovations on the blockchain. We make the blockchain stagnant. Like Ethereum has made blockchain industry stagnant. It has made a lot of developers lazy. You can just go and create Ethereum token overnight. We need new models. We need new innovations on the blockchain. We are even dragging blockchain back.
Okay, the card is currently working as we speak.
Huh?
Is the card currently working as we speak?
Yes.
Okay. Now I have some
Yes,
notable.
it is working.
I have some notable names in the cryptocurrency space. The Nigerian manager for Binance
Okay.
is going to be asking some questions. You must have heard of Binance.
Okay.
Binance is an
Sure,
exchange.
sure.
So he has some questions
Sure.
for you. These are well respected names in the cryptocurrency space. Victor Gochuku
Okay.
and Emeka Ize will also ask you some questions. So, Mr. Emmanuel Babalola, if you're in the house, please, it's time for your questions because we are running out of time. Mr. Emmanuel Babalola, if you're in the
Okay.
house, just say something.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Fantastic, fantastic. It's good that I think this meeting was organized. So because of the number of questions that I know that a lot of people also have to ask, I'll just ask one. Many of us have been around for a long time in the industry, and we've seen different market cycles come and go. We've seen different projects come and go as well. So my question to you is pertaining your project price.
Project.
I know that, as you've said, you are not going through traditional means by listing on exchanges because of you understand that blockchain is neutral, and that's a very interesting perspective, which is still fine. But my biggest question is this: if you're creating a currency, which I'm sure should be on the blockchain, your price action, the price of your tokens, where does it come from? Now, why I ask that question is because if you look at other projects in the space that are like yours, I can mention some names. We have TBC, we have OneCoin, we have a lot of other coins like that, that it is the project owner that determines the price of the coin. In fact, in TBC, the price only goes up. It never comes down. And in yours, you have claimed to have $200 billion in market cap. I saw that on Instablog and I was ashamed. If you look at the entire cryptocurrency market cap today, you will see that the entire market cap is just about $300 billion. And your price of your coin that has about 40,000 followers, and as you say, 200,000 nodes, is over $200 billion. Now,
Okay.
there is no justification for that hype.
Okay.
Do you understand? So, a lot of us have invested our lives and our blood in this space. Not yet.
Okay.
And coming to claim that your project has $200 billion in market cap, and maybe all you've raised for all the 1,000 naira and 10,000 naira that people have paid to you to collect your coin or qualify for the monthly payment, which will come in your currency, are they aware that they will be paid in that currency, and that currency price is only determined by you, and that in the end, when they want to convert it to naira, they have to rely on your so-called exchangers, and those exchangers, if they don't have the cash, what happens? Do you not know that this is just a system that would eventually set us back in the space? Do you not see that? If indeed you have qualifications from Blockchain Council and you frame those qualifications, most of us have qualifications from other universities as well. And you don't see anybody talking about that. My biggest concern with you is that you are making emboldened claims. And this is a very bad time in Nigeria where people are suffering from a lot of loss in jobs. And I feel that you're taking advantage of this. My question to you is this: how come you claim that the value of your token is $200 billion, not 200 billion pink coin, but you're saying it's $200 billion? It means, do you know what market cap means, Mr. Professional? It means that the amount of dollars in your project is $200 billion. And I am asking you to show us. Listen, no. Listen, show us anywhere where your token is $200 billion. Dollars, my brother, show us. And this is a rhetoric question, actually. I don't expect you to answer because I know it's a lie. But go ahead and answer. And mind you, you know who is asking you this question. I hope you know who is asking you this question. Okay.
You are going round and round. And let me listen. Human being, so there's no big deal about that. What I want you to understand first is, no, I do not determine. I don't know if you were in the first session. I do not determine price. The people, as they join the blockchain, determines price. I have explained that 180 members, as everybody joins the blockchain, it affects the price, not supply and demand. The human beings on the blockchain are the ones backing the blockchain. We have tried to back money with paper, with gold, and with a lot of things. You know, when people talk, you talk in a way, in a manner that, like what Siban did, was really annoying, and I see it coming from you. If you are talking, you talk in a way that you give room for, if there's room for apologies, maybe, oh, I didn't know it is like this. You have room to do that, not castigating and mocking someone. It's not done, please. No matter who you are, I'm stating it clearly. Now, you compared us with Bitcoin, TBC, and OneCoin. You said we have over 40,000 members. Please, for the records, Living News, check there, it's 270-something thousand members. And in our Telegram group, we have over 40,000 members, to clear that part for you. Then when you divide, it is a very simple but powerful blockchain. When you talk about Bitcoin's model, it is more like a fork of fiat currency, putting fiat system on the blockchain. That is what Bitcoin looks like to me. I call it hybrid of fiat currency because it does not solve the problem of money. And do you know what the problem of money is? Money does not value the valuer. Human beings are the valuers of all things on earth. When you take the human assets out of the earth, every other thing becomes useless. The same humans value paper more than themselves, more than their family. Imagine the atrocities people cause because of paper money. You kill, in Nigeria, we have ritual killings on a whole human being. The value has to go back to the people. We have to take that value back to the people.
Okay.
So I let you land.
How did you get $200 billion?
Let him
into
answer.
your
Let
budget?
him answer.
You land. Wait, nobody should answer. Let me
him
answer. I let
Wait,
you
please.
land.
Let him
Please.
land.
Let me land. I let you
Let
land.
him answer.
Please, sir,
So-
can you go straight to
No, I'm
how
asking,
you
how
get
did you get
$200
$200
billion? How did you get $200 billion valuation? Is the question. How did you get $200 billion valuation? It's straightforward.
Okay, I'm going to can you share?
Allow him to answer you,
wait.
please.
Let me answer. Share the screen.
Allow him to answer.
Allow me to share screen.
All right, so I'll give you
Okay.
share your screen.
Just 1 minute. Let me run through that quickly.
All right, just hold on. All right, share your screen. You can share your screen now.
Okay, down. Like I said, for every 180 members on the blockchain, this is not capitalist system. This is incrustation. 180 there represents 180 sovereign nations, which also is equals to 180 nations. The currencies of 180 nations. meaning that we summarized it as 180 countries. When you divide, this 180 becomes the magic number. This is 272,000 members. When you divide this by 180 nodes, living nodes, that is what determines price, please. That is what determines price. Then we have coins in reserve. Please take note of the word reserve.
So
this is not market cap. This is reserve cap. Yeah.
Hold on, please. I think, Mr.
Please allow him to finish that. He
No,
said,
hold on a minute. A question was asked, and that answer has been given. So I want to be sure that the what's his name, the Nigerian manager for Binance. Just in case you don't know, Binance is the biggest exchange in the whole world. So the manager for Binance asked a question.
Yeah.
So Mr. Emmanuel Babalola, manager of Binance in Nigeria, did you get the answer to your question?
Yeah.
And do you think that works for you? And also remember, we have some other notable names that are yet to. Emmanuel Babalola, is he still in the house?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So first of all, he has corrected it that it is not $200 billion market cap, but what did you call it again? You said it's 200 billion what?
Reserve cap. Okay.
Reserve cap.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of reserve cap? Sorry if I may ask. Everybody is hearing, Ashe?
Yeah.
we are with you.
This is a reserve cryptocurrency. A reserve cryptocurrency.
So what you're saying is you have 200 billion pink coin reserved. Is that not the case?
The total coins, wait.
Okay.
The total coins in reserve is 144 million pink coins. When you times this by the current price, I've told you how price is determined. Our blockchain is a very simple but powerful blockchain.
You don't want to hear how powerful it is.
I don't care what you think about it.
Just tell us how the price is determined.
First of all, he has answered the question. I think he has answered the question. What you said is,
if you're trying to get a clarification from someone, you don't mock the person in the process.
We are not mocking you.
You mocked me.
No, we are not. No.
I'm the one. No, talk to me. I'm the one that is mocking you.
Not Sam. You mocked me.
Right?
Listen.
No wahala.
Listen.
Sam asked me to confirm some things from you. Allow me to confirm it.
You said that
wait.
professional.
Yes, now you were showing us your certificate at the beginning of this course.
I think I need to come in here. This is an AMA, and questions are to be asked, and those questions are to be answered. Now, of course, some questions might come in.
Yes, I've answered the question.
Hold on. Some questions might come in a way you don't like, but if you want people to understand your question, you have to ignore the way they were asked and try as much as possible to give the answers, because
please,
the whole
I can't hear from you.
are watching. Right. So one other
please,
question.
I can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to give the room right now to Mr.
Okay,
Victor,
Sam?
Okay, Mr. Paul is in the house. I think he's the one talking right now. Paul is the president of CBAN. He's a well-respected name in the entire Nigerian crypto space. I'm going to give the room right now. I think he's the one trying to say something. So, Mr. Paul, over to you.
I can't hear anything, please.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. InksNation, Mr. Sparks. It's nice meeting you. I just have a very straightforward question before Victor comes in. And you said it is the human beings that come in, that each as they come in, that's how you work to your economics of money. As the human beings come in, you have more money, right? Am I right, sir?
Yeah, to an extent.
Good. So good. That's one. Then I want to ask you a question. Are you aware that in economics, population does not mean wealth?
Anything.
Are you aware that population does not mean wealth? where the largest, one of the large, the largest, the most populated country in Africa is Nigeria. That has
Okay.
translated to economic wealth. How
Yes.
then? How do you? How did you, with number of persons you are adding to your system? How does it translate to $200 billion? How that's number one. Number two is, if you talked about incrustation, and you
Wait,
said
wait.
it's magic number.
Can I answer one by one so that I don't?
Okay, go ahead, answer that.
Now I've said that price determines price times total number of coins in reserve. This is one of the reasons why we are not too interested in listing, because we are different. Now, the price itself is determined by the total living notes divided by 180, which is in our own crypto economics, is the structure or the mathematical structure that makes up what we have here as price. Then price now time multiplies by this to get total. We did not write total market cap. We know why we didn't write market cap, because it is not market cap. This is total in reserve. Now, as regards your question, that how did we arrive at this figure in based on population? Now, Bitcoin came into the system still using the same system of fiat currency. I have a video of one blockchain listing in US. He said that if you are creating a new coin or a new cryptocurrency, he doesn't really believe in Bitcoin. If you are creating a new coin and you are still using the same system of the previous coin and you claim you want to solve some problems, you will not end up solving it. That is why I keep repeating that blockchain is neutral. We need to undo the current system and create a new model.
All right, so
and this model now, the Nigeria you used as example is actually still using the former system, which values the number of money in circulation and whatever. But here we are valuing human assets. Now, if you look at this part of the secondary CMA, for example, whether
while you continue,
okay.
I want you to help us to understand how will this valuation of human assets translate to money in their pocket and money to Pink Nation? How will that valuation translate to money? Whether it's
already hello. It is already translating to money.
Please, can I ask a question?
Because with this, a lot of members are already making money in their pockets. We can give.
Where is the money? Where is the money coming from? Is it coming from the new funds that are coming in, or from the money you have in your reserve? Where is it coming from?
Okay.
Bringing in of new members. This is what generates the money.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Bringing in of new members, it's what generates the money, right?
That's for now.
God bless you. You have answered me. I'm okay. Bringing in of new members generates the money. Thank you very much.
Now,
you can go on. You have answered me. Thank you. Victor, you can go on. You can go. You can take your question.
That was a very quick session. And what we got from that session is the current way the members of InksNation make money is through the influx of money that comes from new members. That was the summary of that particular session. So Mr. Victor Ugochukwu is also a well-respected name in the cryptocurrency space, just in case you are not aware. So he has some questions, and I'm going to give him a few minutes to ask those questions. Mr. Victor Ugochukwu, over to you, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Sam. Thank you, everybody, for this session. Now, over to Mr. Sparks or Motadio, or they call you
Sparks, yeah.
Oh, okay. So thank you for honoring this invite. So I have some few questions to ask you. I've been listening to you right from the very beginning. Now, I understand how debate is held. And I understand when people try to bring in emotion or bring in whether God said this. God, nobody's disputing whether God spoke to you or not. But whenever God speaks to you and people's life, people's resources, people's money has to do with that vision God gave you, we want to know exactly how you intend achieving that vision. So I have these questions to ask you. You said something, we've been asking you, and then you move from here, you move to this part. You say, what exactly drives Pincom price? This is what Emmanuel Babalola, the Binance manager for Nigeria, asked you. And then you came up with fuzzy mathematical statistics, which that's one. Two, you say you have a pink card. Okay. I want to know, is this card licensed in Nigeria or anywhere in the world? Now, you also mentioned something like your value is, the value for your coin is not determined by supply and demand. First of all, I've never had any, you say this is incrustation. I don't even know what that even means. So you are not adopting the capitalist approach. You are adopting incrustation, whatever approach. And then you said Nigeria as a country, when Mr. Paul asked you a question, you said population does not determine wealth. This is what Mr. Paul told you. And then you said Nigeria is still working based on capitalist approach. I want to ask you, do you run your nation? Do you run a different country where you have your finance minister, you are the president of that country? You are operating in Nigeria as a capitalist nation, or let's say quasi-capitalist nation. Now, I want to ask you, where is the license for your card coming from? You've said a lot about your blockchain. I don't even understand, because this thing has to do with people's money. If it is not so simple to understand, there's a problem with it. Lastly, you are also saying something like people coming, and for the way you make money as a platform now is by bringing in new people. Do you understand the basic definition of Ponzi or MLM? If you understand that, you should know exactly what you're doing, because I know you know exactly what you're doing, and you are pandering to people's ignorance to do what you're doing. Where is your licensing? Are you a registered company in this country, or you operate your own nation where you are the president of your own country and you have people following you like sheep? I want to please answer those questions.
I would again. Please, let's not. I know if you don't understand me fully, you shouldn't bring out harsh approaches and talks. Now, Sam, please mute. Sam, please mute. Now, firstly, we are registered in Nigeria as IB Smartify, and our NGO is also in process. Secondly, our crypto economics might be similar to that of what's it called, network marketing, or it's more of, I don't know if I'm being heard. It's more of, I can hear you. Okay, it's more of humanitarian service. Now, in Bitcoin, we always hear a period of hold. When you understand the value proposition, or where value is being gotten from, then you need to understand how it finally pans out. Because many of the questions are still coming based on the understanding of the Bitcoin model, or the formal, let me call it that, the formal model. Now, if you understand how this works, you will understand that the only way that this kind of blockchain, okay, for example, we give our members that a period of hold, this is a period of hold. That's when you hold your reserve. As you're holding your reserve between now, from when it started till August 12th, you cannot access those funds because we are on a mission to pursue the act of making human assets the most important asset on earth before 2025. So if you are now also willing to bring in more living nodes, take note of that word, living nodes, then that's just like saying living souls, living nodes. You are also entitled, it's not compulsory. If you want to bring in more living nodes, then you get your PIN card printed and it serves as an ID card and also a debit card within the ecosystem for now. Now, with this, we give our members 140,000 in this card, Naira worth of Bitcoin. So they are meant to use that 140 to aid the process of bringing in new living nodes. And that is what, as we are sitting here, you see that even the living nodes is increasing. This is 887.
Okay,
So
that means the living
they are actually bringing
that are added to the network. Living nodes.
Yes, so I'm here and we are all, I've explained that before, that the living nodes are the people that joins the blockchain.
Mr. Sparks, you've explained that, and that's very thoughtful of you. Thank you for that explanation. I just want you to also think of this. As you keep adding living nodes and paying them from the new money that the new living nodes bring, when would you start making money to be able to sustain your system? When do you think you start making money? 2025, 2023, or when do you think you start making money?
Myself or the system, the ecosystem?
The system.
Oh, well, the system is already making money. One. Now, as
how does the system make money?
How does the system make money?
Let me explain. Let me explain.
Apart from the new money that new living nodes are bringing, how does the system make money?
Thank you. Now, every blockchain project is focused on mass adoption. Mass adoption. Our reserve cryptocurrency, no matter how anybody sees it, can also serve as a reserve currency for fiat currencies, which is serving like US dollar, which is the global reserve currency for now. Now, the total reserve, the reason why we're giving people the grace to bring in more living nodes is because of mass adoption. Mass adoption would achieve peer-to-peer usage of funds in your wallet, which is what every crypto or blockchain project actually focuses on, directly or indirectly.
So what you're saying is that it is the mass adoption that will give value to InksCoin.
Not value, it already has its value within its ecosystem. Hear me. Just
the
hear
value
me.
on ground is from the new.
No. That's not the value. You are still using the capitalist system. You are bringing in the capitalist system into the infestation system.
Mr. Spark, listen, please.
Okay.
Do you know about Libra?
Libra, yeah, I know Libra.
You know Libra?
Facebook, yeah.
Thank you very much. Did you know that Libra was stopped right in its tracks because of one reason? Did you know? Because it affects the economy of the nations where it will walk around. Now, I'm asking, hold on, please. This is not about thank you. I'm asking you now, please.
Yeah.
Mr. Sparks Somotade, you are saying this is innovation, new innovation. Forget about the name innovation. How exactly does Bitcoin or InksNation get money aside from new members that are coming in? And then you are saying something reserve. Forget about the name, whether it is called reserve or or preserve, whatever it is you like, you call it. But how does it make money aside not getting fiat naira from Mr. A that Mr. B that Mr. A just invited into your system? How
Okay,
does
let me understand your question well. Tell me how Bitcoin makes its money. Then I would understand your question well.
Okay, you want to know how Bitcoin makes money?
From
Bitcoin
your own
doesn't-
words.
No. Bitcoin actually doesn't make money.
Okay.
Good. So you need to understand that Bitcoin doesn't make
Okay.
money. Bitcoin is listed on several exchanges, and the price
That's not the issue. Being listed is not the issue.
Bitcoin
You asked the question how
Bitcoin is traded openly across
Okay.
nations by
Okay.
people, and this statistics is seen on CoinMarketCap.
Okay.
So I am
Apart from Victor, apart from that, Mr. Sparks, there's what is called. I hope you know that Bitcoin is mined. There is a cost to mining Bitcoin. It's not free. Even if you get your computers down and start
How
mining,
does it make money?
there's an economic. Bitcoin is not for money making. There's an economics of Bitcoin in the sense that the difference between Bitcoin and what you're doing is one, Bitcoin is not pegged. It is not the people who started Bitcoin that pegged the value of Bitcoin. Demand and supply is what is making
driving the price,
the value that the price it has. But you're not even allowing demand and supply, which is normal economics, to rule.
You are telling us 180. Where did you get your 180 from?
We're not saying that. It is when the moment another person comes, it adds value. That is precisely TBC.
Ponzi.
The moment another new person comes, that's Ponzi. That means the day that anybody does
Ponzi. Hello.
What if they bar people from joining your platform now? What if they start arresting people and people get scared and stop putting in their money? Will your platform continue to thrive?
Can I answer you, please? Can I answer you? Let me tell you something. First of all, this is my life's mission. I must end poverty in the lives of. Listen now, just listen, please. Thank you. I must end poverty in the lives of at least 144 million human beings before I, Amos Sewanu, Omotade Sparks, before I leave this earth. And that is my calling. And I don't care what anybody thinks, because when you talk, you don't talk.
Okay, I'm going to come in here. Sorry, I'm going to come
Let me answer that question, please. Let me answer that question, please.
Hold on, Mr.
That if members stop joining, stop joining, hello?
Yeah.
Can I go on? If members stop, that question is very important. Number one thing is that the only thing that can make this kind of blockchain backed by human asset to fail, the only thing that can make it fail, because it is backed by human asset, is if the entire human race is wiped off. And that is almost impossible. Now, let me answer that question again, that if let's assume, okay, it has moved from 880 something to 948. If it stops there, then price also stops there. That is the way it works. If it stops where it is now, price also stops where it is presently.
So it doesn't go down.
It will not go down, because let me add something. Let me add something that we need to understand. Supply and demand. For me, many of us were born into this system. We have made it a standard. We forget that there were systems before that, and there can also be new systems after that. That's why I keep differentiating capitalist and what we're doing. So supply and demand, for me, Amos, is one of the biggest scam on humanity. What is the meaning of supply and demand? Supply and demand is human participation. Human participation. You made mention of a whale floating money, huge money, and affecting price. But that can be monopolized. It can be it can be influenced. A will.
So so far so good. Mr. InksNation, you've done so much, and you said something about supply and demand, and your ecosystem is not using the normal supply and demand method, as you call it, capitalist method of the entire nation and the whole world. Now, with that said, that simply means that the price of Incoin is derived by the Incoin community. Simply put, by the according to you, the mathematics behind the price of the coin. Now, of course, everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do. You see, and Mr. Paul rightly stated. I think that Mr. Paul
Hello.
Stated that if this project ends up going south, that it will affect the entire image of Nigerian crypto space. That is just the concern of the people, of the rest of the blockchain community. Right. So so far so good. You've explained that this coin is not listed on any exchange yet. Personally, as Samuel Joseph, I am aware that cryptocurrency only gains value. Anybody can quote me anyway. The cryptocurrency only gains value when it has been listed on an exchange. But this coin has not been listed on an exchange, but has value already. And that is a big concern. Then lastly, we're supposed to have Mr. Chris Annie. I don't know, you must have heard of Chris Annie, join this call, but he hasn't joined the call at the moment. So what's going to happen is this.
Please, Emeka has question.
Sam, please. Sam. Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Emeka, sorry.
Sam. Okay.
Mr. Emeka, over to you.
Hello. Greetings.
Sir, cannot hear.
Hello, Amos. Can you hear me?
I can hear.
Yeah. I hope you're doing good today.
Yeah, thank you. I'm fine.
Okay. So, you being from Ajegule and all you said, your street, all of us get street credibility. Someone said it. But now, the major concern for me is that you said God gave you a vision, right? But let's go from the Bible perspective. Since it's God that gave you the vision, do you agree that God, even the God that gives vision, has also told you to reference government in everything you do?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening.
I said, do you agree that God also gave you reference in Romans 13 to reference government in anything you do?
Yeah, sure.
So let everyone be subject to the governing authority, for there is no authority except that which God has established, the authority that exists. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, go ahead.
So now, first of all, you're operating under the authority of the government of Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And are under its care, its welfare. If you go to the Constitution, the welfare of all individuals in Nigeria are the priority of the government. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
So before you go ahead, I don't want to know whether the blockchain is backed by Holy Spirit or backed by anything. Let's just be clear with the government part first. Before you go ahead to take anybody's money in this country, there are people you should go to and state it clear that you want to do crowdfunding, because what you're doing is crowdfunding if it's not Ponzi for taking people's money. So you need to go to SEC. Have you ever visited SEC? Hello?
Yeah, hello.
Have you visited SEC before?
No.
Have you
I know SEC.
Okay. Have you gone to the authorities, the security exchange authorities, to tell them, I have this vision, I want to end poverty, and I want to be approved by SEC to take funding from the people of the Republic of Nigeria? Have you done that?
No.
So if you are working under your self-authority in your room over this video, then you are a scam, sir. Because there are authority you are defining. You are not defining the authority.
Hello.
Wait, listen, let me finish. There's a defined authority, which is the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do you know what happened in the USA? Do you know you can't do this shit in the US? Is it because Nigeria is a careless country? You come and float a website, a template, and say that you have the spirit to end 140 million poverty? Do you know what that means? Do you know the chaos you are creating for the blockchain space that have been built over 6 years in Nigeria by people's sweat? Let's come off this joke. Let's call a joke a joke.
Hello. Hello.
You understand me?
Hello.
I'm not here to ask you a question. I'm here to talk. I'm not here to ask questions. I'm here to talk under the interpretation of the government. You understand?
Thank you very much. Emeka, thank you very much. Mr. Sparks, thank you so much. Mr. Sparks, we are very grateful that you want to end poverty. You want to end poverty in Nigeria. That's a very good one. I just have this from all you have said so far and everything, the conversation.
Can't hear you, niggas.
You seem to have a good plan, which you see as a good plan. But you see, where we have issues as a community of believers in this technology is the fact that right now, if I want to ask you, do you have any other thing apart from, if you look at your P&L, your profit and loss, right now, what else is generating money for InksNation? That's number one. Number two, is that card linked to any, who's processing that particular card that you have? Or is it backed by Pink Coin and is being processed in-house? Let's know who's processing. Is it Visa? Is it MasterCard? Who is your card processor in that card?
All right, so thank you, Mr. Paul. Just in case, before you answer.
Hello, can I answer, please?
Yeah, hold on before you answer. So right now we have Mr. Chris Annie in the house. Chris Annie is one of the most respected people we have in the crypto space in Nigeria, right? And he's going to ask you.
Sam, please.
Okay, I think.
Sam, mute everybody and allow mute everybody. Then let him answer. Then Chris will talk. Then we close. Mute everybody. Then I'll allow him to answer.
Everyone is
Chris can ask him questions so that he can answer everything at the same time.
Okay,
that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea.
Then you answer, you ask yours just in few seconds, and then we'll leave the floor for Mr. Chris Annie. So over to you, Mr. Sparks.
I think Chris can ask.
Mr.
Yeah, so let me ask one more question before, so that we'll just add it to it once. I've actually, sorry, this is Mr. Frank talking. I've actually gone through the website. I don't see any blockchain there. All right. What I see is some SQL playing around, and I don't see any API, and that's the reason why it can't be listed on any exchange or connected to any other platform. So can we please stop calling it blockchain or cryptocurrency? All right, because if it must be, if it's blockchain, then there are some technical questions that will follow, and would establish that it's not a blockchain, because I took out time right now to still go through the website. So let's call it human chain or something else instead of blockchain, so that we don't confuse the entire community.
All right, okay. That's coming from that's coming from the founder of CEO of BitFX.
So if you call it,
hold on, that's coming from the founder of CEO of BitFX. He has an exchange that is running live, so he understands how the value of cryptocurrency should be gotten, and also a concern from, I'm just stating out everything you need to answer. A concern from Mr. Emeka is this: have you visited SEC? And you said no, that you've not visited SEC yet. And a concern from Mr. Paul is, how do you get to pay the new living nodes? And then your reply was, you pay the new living nodes from, you pay the old living nodes from the money that comes in from the new living nodes. So those are the summary of the four concerns that was raised. So that's what you answered to or replied to before Mr. Chris Annie comes in. Thanks. Okay, over to you. Over to you now, Mr. Sparks.
I didn't get the question.
Okay. It's actually okay. Let me recap. Mr. Paul's concern is you haven't visited SEC, right? And there's no license for the card as we know it. Number two, you admitted the fact that old members of InksNation are paid from money gotten from the new members are coming. Number three, okay, that's the summary of the two questions. That's some of the two questions.
Okay, yeah. Firstly, as regards whether the card is being produced by MasterCard, Visa card. You see, one thing about we Africans, I must state this clearly. We don't believe in ourselves enough. We are only...
Come off that. It's not about believing in ourselves.
Listen now, please.
We believe in... That's why we
believe in
Let
us.
me land.
Listen,
I've heard a lot of mockeries here. Let me hear. Let me...
Hello, please, Mister. Whatever he calls it, let's hear him now. Let's hear him as you said to yours.
Okay, shut up.
We allowed you people to talk.
And I don't talk. Me first talk now.
Don't try to dominate the whole program. Let's talk. Now, many of us, like when we started this project with the letter to the EFCC and all that, some people told us that if it were possible, that the whites would have created it. And I replied and told him that unconsciously, you are encouraging white supremacy, that if anything good must come out of this world, it must come from the whites. You are saying that MasterCard, Visa card, all these cards started from somewhere. We invented a debit pattern, a debit card like MasterCard. And we're in a process, as I speak with you, to work hand in hand with governments, not just the Nigerian government. There's process in place. And if you see the card, the reason, one of the unique feature of it being a debit card, it says PIN card, banking the unbanked. Banking the unbanked. We have more business centers than banks in Nigeria. And for people in the remote area to access their banking, it is hard. You have to, like there are some places you have to travel before you see a bank. Now, we thank God for the digital space of being able to use your phone and so on and so forth. But with this also, someone can, from his dashboard, take this out, take it to the nearest business center. Wait, let me land now. You take it to the nearest business center and print this out. So that
could you please allow him to
follow some processes.
No. The summary of what you just said is...
Allow him to finish. Allow him to finish.
All right, Mr. Paul.
Please allow him.
Let him finish now.
What is all this Mr. Paul you're shouting about? Let him finish his talk. You are calling Mr. Paul.
Allow him now.
Allow him now. What is all this?
Allow him finish.
Mr.
If you're not ready, disconnect it. It's rubbish. You're not doing rubbish here, please.
Hold on. Because of time, I really do appreciate that you actually make the...
But if it's Mr. Paul,
so when
Mr.
it is time,
Finance,
you're supposed to reply that
you allow them. You allow them to
time.
castigate him, criticize. Now it's time to put
but you allow that man
question.
that doesn't understand Inks. You allow that man that doesn't understand this project.
Allow him to explain.
Mr. Paul,
you being biased?
Let him talk now.
Share ideas.
Forget about that because somebody is president of this or that. What is going? Let him talk.
Forget all those are the players.
Why is he invited here?
Developing something by himself.
All right, so Mr. Spark. So in 2 minutes, just round it up. round it up, and then let's hear from Mr. Chris Annie. There's something we need to understand in cryptocurrency. I've had situations where I watched an AMA from CZ and from other notable guys that are into blockchain outside the country. And people ask them questions, very well insulting questions. I mean, very well insulting questions. But you will never hear them reply referring to the insults that they were insulted. Why? Because they have a goal, and their goal is, hey, I have a project and I've given an opportunity to be heard, and I'm going to air my opinion. And also, while airing your opinion, they are also reminded that there is time. There's limited time. People have what they're doing. We've been in this call for well over 2 hours. So this is me trying to cut in the time. So we just hit the nail on the head. You see, like when all the other speakers, when they ask questions, what I did was to put the summary together. So please just in 2 minutes, give us the answers. Mr. Chris Annie will round up and then we'll move from there. Sorry about the whole rowdiness.
Oh, well, I guess I've even touched everything.
Okay.
The PIN card itself, it has a QR code card, QR code rather, and that QR code contains your Pincoin wallet address. Pincoin wallet address. And it's also going to work with the Pincoin ATM, which uses QR scanner, QR reader to read this and get your details. Now, my statement earlier on is that Africans, you need to start believing in yourselves. I don't care what comes out of this. It is my calling. Whatever happens, I have lost 2 children. I've buried 2 sons in my life. So I have seen a lot. Whatever comes out
God
of
bless
this,
you so much, Sparks. God
I
bless you.
know Amos, I'm saying it.
Hold on, he has 1 more minute. 1 more minute. He has 1 more minute.
Yes, I'm landing. I'm landing.
I don't know what I even they buy itself. 200 naira. I want them to 10 naira.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So whether anybody likes it or not, whether anybody likes it or not, I must achieve my mission, and it is already working out for all the people that are working with us. They are already enjoying from it. During the COVID-19 period, this program saved a lot of homes. COVID-19.
How did they get paid?
This program saved a lot of people. If you want to know more, there's no time. We have our Telegram group.
Sam, let Chris come in. It's obvious this guy doesn't bring out any money, so let Chris come in.
Hold on, please. All right. Mr. InksNation, permit me to call you that. I don't know how your name just ran out of my head. I'm sorry about that. Summary of what you said, just in case some people didn't listen. Summary of what you said is this. The card is produced by your organization, if I'm right. That's summary of what you said. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, the card is produced by your organization, right? That's what you said.
Yes, it's part of is in your dashboard. It's in your listen. We can be the next MasterCard. Someone was saying that so MasterCard is not good enough.
I'm just trying to get the summary of your point. It's produced by your organization. It has not yet accredited by SEC, as you admitted, and also the value of the coin is gotten from InksNation organization's mathematical formula. That's the summary of what we got.
Coin also has its own mathematical formula.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm going to give the floor right now to.
Can I hear you?
Let me see if there's another question before let me check the chat. If I give the floor to Mr. Chris Annie, just in case you don't know who Chris Annie is, he's the CEO and founder of our what's his name, Daba School. But I'm checking the chat right now for any question. How did people make money when there's no payment until August? Okay, that's a question I can answer.
That one has been answered already, since you know that.
This card doesn't. There's no question. So I'm going to do the floor right now. So, Mr. Christiani, please over to you, sir.
Okay, the president of
These Zimbabwe
InksNation.
people are opportunists, trying to form. They help nobody.
Please mute everybody, please. Good afternoon or good morning. How are you? I've actually been following the conversation, and I think it was last year or so I heard about this project or something, and I saw. Are you based in Calabar? Huh?
You're muted.
Hello.
Okay. I'm in Lagos.
Hello.
I'm in Lagos.
Okay.
Lagos.
Okay. Cool. You look like somebody from Cross River, Calabar. That's what I was asking.
I'm a Lagosian from Badagry.
Okay. According to what I'm being told, what I've seen, I heard you guys have $200 billion.
Hello. Hello.
It's a market capitalization. According to hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
we lost you, Chris.
Okay, I said according to the market capitalization I've seen, I heard you guys have 200 billion in market capitalization.
We've answered this question like 3 times. There's no. I said that we have a reserve cryptocurrency, the world's first reserve cryptocurrency. Now it functions totally different. This is not market capitalization. It is reserve, total reserve cap. It is a reserve coin. That is why nobody.
You answered the question before. You said the reserve.
Nobody can say, I have this amount of pin coin, or I have this specific amount of pin coin, and nobody can influence. Like, we are talking about using human assets and using money to influence an ecosystem. Now with Bitcoin, somebody can come with $1 million or $10 million and influence the price to his own favor. But in Pincoin, that $10 million will not affect price at all. It will not, because you are one living node. No matter the amount in your Pincoin or in your reserve, it will not shake price. So it corrects certain errors of Bitcoin itself. But I must also add that I'm sorry to say this. Unconsciously, we make certain things that, okay, when Bitcoin came, it wasn't accepted. Over time, it became accepted. Oh, it has proved it has proven itself over time.
I don't want to go into. Hold on, I don't want to go with you because my brain is draining as you're explaining these things. You just contradicted.
Please, this thing is breaking. It's breaking.
You want to use your own pattern. Hello? Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah, I said you want to use your own pattern. You want to use your own pattern to tell the world how it should be. But you are already using a technology that is existing before. Okay, according to what you're saying.
I can't hear you.
You're saying this is
Hello, I can't hear you. I cannot hear you. It's breaking.
Hello.
Hello, it is breaking. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello, hello, hello.
Mr. Sparks.
Okay, I think it's.
I think we are having Chris has a mic problem or something, but just while before he comes in and asks you the question, just
hello.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Mr. InksNation, it's cool. You're trying to form your own concept.
Sam, we mute everybody.
Can they mute everybody? So you're trying to form your own concept, and you keep saying it is your own concept. It's not like Bitcoin. Okay, I'm really trying to grasp this whole thing because it's a joke on all of us. It's a big joke. 200 billion reserve, nobody can influence it. But you're still talking about blockchain. If nobody can influence it, then it should not be in the market. There's something called demand.
Can I come in?
No, hold on. Let me talk.
Okay.
I make sure you talk. I make sure you finish talking because I won't lie to you.
You've gone off. Hello?
I won't lie to you. To me, I see it as I'm actually not happy. The likes of will come up with a meeting talking. Okay, I see it as a brain drain on Siban, on Sam, on President to call you and you're explaining this. I won't lie to you. I was having a brain drain while you're explaining it. Your concept, your boldness is. I like your confidence. I like your boldness. But you see, you can't change 2 plus 2, whether you are Nigerian or you are a white man. 2 plus 2 is 4, any day, anytime. Okay. If you decide to debate this, that's your problem. But 2 plus 2 is 4. If you're not going to go with the principles that follows 2 plus 2, then you should not be embarking on trying to form your own 2 plus 2. If you want to form your own 4, do the mathematics, 2 plus 2 or 3 plus 1. Don't say because we are white or we are black, and that means Bitcoin or whatever. No, as long with the laid down principles of that, okay, bringing up something. Let me give you this wisdom. Any vision you're bringing out, okay, that is, you can't bring out 40 million people out of poverty like that with your Bitcoin. If you're dashing them free money, it's understandable. But if they are giving you money, to buy your project, okay, then it means you're actually floating a big time point. If there's anything I like about you, sincerely, to answer people with the stuff you've built, man, it's amazing. But man, we've seen that this is the era where foolishness can be bold, stupidity can be bold, idiocy can be bold. If people can display porn even in the public, then what is this again? Do your best. I'll give you just one advice. I'll give you one advice before I leave this call. Okay. It's possible you might have amassed so many followers who are ignorant, who are dumb. It's possible you might have it, but it's not too late to actually kill down this project. Because for us at Sigba,
you're even from Siban. Wow, interesting.
For us at the blockchain economy, I've seen today. I replied some Instagram thing, but this is what we are going to do because I don't know.
So is this a question?
Wait. If in 30 days this project is not down, okay? If in 30 days you don't take down these websites, you don't kill that Telegram group, and you are still receiving money. If we track any means money is coming in, we'll block the account. You don't know who people who interviewed you yet. They were smiling with you. We will block the accounts. If you have your lawyers, send your lawyers to us.
Hello.
No. Hold on. It's not a threat. I'm only telling you that Siban was my president and co. We're all wasting time with you people. We're going to bring out your lawyers. Send us your office address, or you will send our own to you.
Okay.
Pull down that website. If you collect one more money from the public, we will track every account details and block it. Okay? We will track every account details and block it. And if that continues, this is not a thing of trying to understand with you, because based on what you've displayed here, your project is a scam. Your project is stupid. Your project has nothing. It's draining. Look at the educated human beings you brought on a Zoom meeting. 100 people trying to explain what is not alive, what is not happening to them, just because you want money to come to the platform. So please, this is what we will do. Help you.
Mr. Siban.
Who gave this man authority to be speaking like this?
Listen, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. Except if God did not call me, go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Okay? Go ahead. Laugh. There are so many things that we all hear. You make mention of 2+2. Is blockchain capitalists? My dear, I will keep repeating it that blockchain is a neutral technology. Chuta said something and I love it. He said Africa needs blockchain more than blockchain needs Africa. Let the blockchain work. Most of your principles are all around Bitcoin. You don't want to come out of Bitcoin. You don't want to revolve. Try how many blockchain projects, indigenous blockchain projects we have from Africa. Africa needs blockchain the most.
Sparks, if you don't run away, you will go to jail. Sparks, see the problem. The problem is that hello, this is Mr. Frank talking.
I'm listening.
Yes, our time is very precious. Every single one of us here, including you, right? And the reason why we all gathered here to listen and to advise is because we have the interest of you and your community at heart, right? So nobody's saying a black man is doing this or that.
If you had interest, you see, I honored this invite because of Sam. The reason why is I like peace. You understand? But you are saying, if you say that the reason why this was done is whatever, that was not the most.
Let me land.
You guys have already made a defamation already out there.
No.
This had come out. No, wait. If this had come out before the defamation, then no problem. That is your conclusion. You understand me? But putting out the defamation or whatever, and at the end of the day, we are now talking here, and I can
now,
see.
let me land.
I can see.
Let me explain something to you. No, it's not a mockery. Let me explain something to you.
That is one
what you are running. What you
that
are running is your what you are running is your concept and your creativity. Nobody is taking it away from you. But the problem is that it is not blockchain.
It is not blockchain. It is DLT. If you don't accept it is blockchain, it is distributed ledger technology because it is built on blockchain.
It's not distributed.
If you don't accept it is blockchain, it is DLT because
now let me tell you something. Right?
Most
I'm
of
going to
you
prove to
use
you.
hello. Most of you use the models of Bitcoin, and you're using it to judge other
and it's going to help you.
I'm listening.
It's going to help you, right?
I'm listening.
Yes. Yeah. Now, you insist it is blockchain.
Okay.
Then two things we're going to do is that we're going to test that blockchain, right?
Okay.
Because sometimes it's SQL running, right? We're going to test that blockchain and we're going to take down your website to prove to you that it is not blockchain. I know you need to understand what I'm trying to say, right? You said it's human nodes. Let's see if the blockchain, your blockchain, is hosted in the brain of the human beings that are running the node. So we are going to do some SQL injection and take down the website first of all by ourselves, so that you will understand that you are not running blockchain. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. Then the second, so on that end, by the time calling it blockchain, call it human chain or call it whatever, right? But it's not blockchain in any way. And that is the reason why you can't list in an exchange or in any third-party platform. So, secondly, on the cryptographical aspect of it, it's still all linked up together. So I'm just trying to help you out on that aspect.
Let me tell you something, please.
Okay.
Let's end this discussion.
By
Go and do your SQL injection.
Yeah, please, before you end it,
on the project.
before you end the
Go and do
discussion.
it. There's no need for us to continue. Go and do it.
Okay, everyone, it was a nice time. Mr. InksNation, Mr. Spark, sorry. It was a very, 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 very nice time with you. And like Chris Annie said, personally, I respect your boldness, even though, of course, you actually say that the reason you honor this invitation is because of me, and I respect that a lot. But here's what I have to say personally, as Samuel Joseph, as one man. What you're doing in summary is like building your own ecosystem, your own economic system, which was well defined, and I appreciate that. But personally, I hardly think or believe that's going to work, because it's like fighting against the world's system, right? But if that can work at the end, no problem. Then also, I was concerned about the fact that you admitted that old members I paid from the funds from the new members. That didn't sound okay.
Please let me clarify that part. You are picking some wrong signals there.
Okay.
Now, if you say people are benefiting, let me ask you the biggest unique difference between this and maybe network marketing. If you say this does not work, then network marketing does not work.
Okay,
it is useless.
Marketing.
No, wait. Just hear me.
Okay.
This is a little similar. It is not network marketing, because there are no network marketing. You still have to pay to the company directly. But in this case, they are not paying to the company.
What are they paying to?
The individuals that are doing their living notes. The people that are bringing in more living notes. In network marketing, you pay directly to the company. So even that is more of a crime than what we are doing. If you
MMM don't pay directly to any company. MMM, old members receive money from new members. So that is the same thing you are doing at InksNation. New members are paying old members. I tried registering on your platform. This is exactly what your people told me.
My dear.
This is where, sorry, this because of time, this is 12:30.
Please, can I, before you end it, can I just
compare blockchain with MMM.
Can I just say something?
No matter what is built on the blockchain,
Mr. Ike,
it is an insult to compare blockchain.
Sorry, I arrived too late, and I won't take anybody's.
In few seconds, please. In few seconds.
Yes. I won't take much of anybody's time. And Mr. InksNation, good to meet you.
Yeah,
and,
same here.
Yeah, just a little thing I would want to say, and it has something to do with your followers. Okay. Yes, you may have a project that most of us may not agree with, based on your definition and where we are coming from. You know, everybody will claim to be right in their own way, but then at the end of the day, there are standards that we use to measure. Personally, yes, I could come out and say I'm not in agreement with you calling it a crypto project or a blockchain project. I will lay out my facts. You come from your own ends, this. But then I'm sure this argument will not end here. On different platforms, like on Twitter, I've been on Twitter. There's been some arguments as well on the thread and all that. One thing I'm disappointed at is your followers not bringing up intelligent arguments, but being kind of insultive and coming up with mob action and all that. At the end of the day, let's assume that what you're coming up with is something
but I didn't hear.
genuine.
Sorry, I didn't hear that part. Followers. You said followers. Hello.
Followers, they just say wait till August. No clarification, no debate. Wait till August. That's all they say.
Okay. Go ahead. So go ahead. You were still saying some things. Hello.
Okay, I think we lost him there a little bit, but so far so good. That's what we've had. We've had the concerns of the Nigerian blockchain space community. They've been well stated. I don't need to repeat myself anymore. And also we've gotten advice from the president of CBAN. We've gotten advice from different exchanges, most especially Binance, Nigeria manager, and BitFXT today. So this is where we're drawing the curtain, because if we allow this session, it's going to keep going on and on and on. So thanks everyone for coming around today. I'll be uploading this video on YouTube just in case you want to check it out again. So thank you, Mr. Sparks. Thank you very much. And this is where we're drawing the curtain.
Can I share something quickly, please?
Oh yeah, but yeah, you can, but for me right now, okay.
Please allow him to share, please.
No,
okay.
He's free to share. He's free to share.
Give me
sorry,
sharing rights, please. Can you give me sharing rights? Hello, just
sorry. I think my internet messed up a bit.
Hello.
Yeah, just
Can I round up what I was saying?
Okay, Mr.
Sorry, I think my internet is.
You round up while I try to give him permission to share his screen.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Yeah, I was saying, followers, they choose to act like mob. Anybody who has a different opinion from your project, they come out and insult and try to bombard. I think it should be an environment of intelligent arguments. Just like what I've seen here, people who talk, bring their facts from this side, you bring your facts from this side, so that the people who have the opportunity to learn and understand what other people have said. Because I know there are experts too that have been here that must have said a lot of things that when I say them to just repetition. Then outside here, because the debate will definitely continue, I know, on different platforms. You guys try and when a piece of information is required, it's up to you to produce it. Someone like me, I asked for a link to your blockchain, and that was not provided. Instead, people were calling me.
Where did you ask for it?
Yeah, on Twitter. Instead, people were calling me ignorant, and some even laid a curse on me. you know,
My
and
bad.
it was,
On my
it
on behalf
was,
of that person, I apologize. Okay, sorry.
okay.
Or
It was funny.
I showed part of the Explorer earlier on. Yeah, maybe we weren't there. The Explorer. Then secondly, I want to add something. That was why I asked for a shared screen. You know, I was listening to one. Let me play it here now. Maybe this. Thank you. Now, if you all heard what Musa Jimo said, first of all, he said that those are the points. One, that he does not disturb anybody from using Bitcoin or blockchain. But as he sits there, that he has attended so many conferences. What he has been